to talk about two frustrations of my clients, two of the main frustrations of my clients. And you won't guess what they are. Go ahead, type it in the comments, let me know. Can you guess what the two frustrations are of my clients mostly? When I dig down deep and I figure out why my clients are frustrated, it's mostly for two main reasons. Reason number one, they feel that they're not doing enough to get ahead. Yes, so many of my clients, they have degrees, they've been working at least 10 years, not necessarily for the same company, but they have 10 to 15 years experience and they've been working hard and they feel like they're stuck. They want to get ahead, but they just don't know how to get ahead. They don't know. Another thing, and this is the second thing, they feel undervalued. They feel that the powers that be, their supervisors, the people in charge, just don't recognize the value that they bring to the organization. So that's the two things that I hear the most. I want to do more, I can do more, but I'm not having the opportunity to do more. The other thing that I hear is that I'm undervalued. I'm working so hard, no one acknowledges me for my work. So we're going to discuss two ways to deal with those things. And of course, go ahead and let me know in the comments some of the frustrations that you have at work. But we're going to discuss these two. And I'll give an example a little later on one of the clients in one of my leadership programs. So this is a question I ask my clients when they tell me that they're being undervalued. Do you communicate your value to your supervisor? If you're feeling undervalued at work, are you communicating the extent of what you do? Are you communicating to your supervisor the project that you solved? Are you communicating to your supervisor the crisis that you averted? Are you communicating to your supervisor the customer that you saved? Whatever it is your job is, are you communicating your value? Are you communicating your wins? Are you communicating your accomplishments to your supervisors or to the people who are above you, who need to know? And oftentimes, you know what my clients tell me? They say, they should know. They should know. They should know what I do. And that's an easy thing to kind of cop out of the responsibility of communicating your value. Let me tell you something. There is no one who can communicate your value better than you. I'm going to say it again. There is no one who can communicate your value better than you. If you are leaving it to chance for someone else to recognize your value and to communicate that value and to praise you for it, you're leaving a lot to chance. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Akima says it's hard when your superiors don't know how to speak to you and always look. That is true. So we're going to talk about some tips on how to do that. How do you communicate to your supervisors? You need to keep track of your wins. And that's a problem that a lot of people have. They don't keep good track on their wins. What they do is that they look at what it is they have to accomplish based on their job description, based on the goals that are set for them. Some jobs don't even set goals. Some jobs don't have active goals and objectives. You just know that this is your responsibility. As the employee, it is up to you to set your goals if none have been set for you. It may seem like a lot of work, but let me tell you something, it is worthwhile. When you go to the job place, if you haven't set your goals for 2018, what do you hope to accomplish for this role that you're playing? How do you choose to or hope to add value to your employer, to your business, to your organization? Set those goals if they have not been already set for yourself. All right. And in my Level Up class, I talk a little bit more about goal setting and how you break that down into actionable items. So you can, register for Level Up and learn a little bit more there. But for the purpose of right now and our communication, think about the goals that you have been accomplishing. What have you done to add value? What have you done that has taken you above and beyond your job description? What have you done that has been a real big win for your organization? And how did you communicate that with your supervisor? You see, many organizations have structures where you meet with your supervisor probably once a quarter, once a week at some specific time so that you can go over your performance, a performance review. Some don't. But guess what? It is up to you, if your organization doesn't have that, to seek it out. See, as an employee, we come in and we think the organization should have these things already set up. I agree, they should. We should work together with the supervisor for goal setting. I agree, you should do that. We should have our goals already laid out. I agree. Your supervisor should be able to look and see the things that you're doing and you're doing correctly. I agree, but here it is. The systems are broken many times. And if you want to get ahead in your job, you have to stand out. And how you set yourself apart from everyone else, and how you make sure that your value is being communicated to your supervisors, is that you be intentional about it. There's no other way. So if you are working in a position where you are not getting the feedback, where you don't think that you're being valued, I have to ask you, what value do you bring? What value do you bring to your organization? And I ask my clients this point blank, what value do you bring? And a lot of times they are unclear. They cannot tell me specifically what value they bring to the organization. I ask them, what have you accomplished for the organization in the last 60 days? What have you accomplished for the organization in the past 90 days? See, the thing about it is, if you don't know what you have accomplished, how can you then communicate that to your supervisor? How can you then go and request a meeting with your supervisor and say, I would like to talk to you about some of the wins that I've had over the last 60 days. I'd like to talk to you about some of the things that I've accomplished for the organization. I'd like to talk to you about the value that I've added to the organization over the past 3 months. If you don't know, you can't communicate that. So you need to start right now. Write it down. If you have a pen, paper, whatever. You have to communicate your value to your supervisor. So you have to think about it. I tell people to keep a running file with your accomplishments. If you make an accomplishment today, you write it down. And then you work on making accomplishments every day or every week or however it works for you. But you make sure that you record it and you're specific. On this date, I did this thing that added value. I did this thing that was a win for my organization. I did this thing to save a customer. I did this thing to save a student. I did this thing to improve this functionality or this system. Record your wins. First step if you're feeling undervalued. Now, after you've recorded your wins, if you don't have a way of communicating it with your supervisor, meaning if you don't have regular meetings that are set up, request one. Simple as that. Request a meeting. It can be something that's short, sweet, to the point. Hi, Mr. So-and-so. I'm so glad that you've taken the time out to meet with me. I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I've been doing in this position that I think you'd be glad to know. Now, you're not talking about your day-to-day routines. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about the things that you did, where you went above and beyond. You're talking about wins that are extraordinary. You're talking about things that you added value beyond what you are called to do. But you can't communicate that unless you know what it is. So get clear. Think about some of the wins that you've had since the year started, right? Think about some of the wins that you've had so far for the quarter. If you don't have any wins yet, go back to what I spoke about earlier, the goal setting. What are some of the goals that you have so that you can start working on those goals? The goal should, again, go above and beyond what it is you do daily, your day-to-day. What are some of the goals that you have? How can you accomplish those goals so that you can start racking up those wins so that you can then go to your supervisor and say, these are the ways I've been adding value. And then you can discuss things further. Of course, after you've racked up enough wins, you've communicated enough with your supervisors, they start to take notice. Things should start to change for you. You should start to be more appreciated. If not, you should at least be thinking about moving up within the organization, because now the leaders of the organization have seen your value. You've communicated to them. That's number one in terms of feeling frustrated, the things that I help my clients with. Number two, demonstrate. Demonstrate. And this goes hand in hand with the communicate. You communicate and you demonstrate. So for demonstrate, you're setting goals. Think about when you're setting your goals and your objectives, not just how you can benefit the position that you're in. How can you benefit the overall organization? How can you use your position to benefit the organization overall? How can you demonstrate your value? Not just communicate, but demonstrate. Is there something else that you can take on, some other responsibility that you can take on? Is there a way that you can help someone else who is struggling, who is on your team? Is there something that you see your supervisor struggling with? See, a lot of times we don't look to our supervisors. I can tell you, I've led teams of up to 10 people, and I can tell you there's always something that I needed help with, always. Always. And the people who are close to the supervisors are the people who are able to see the supervisors needing help with something and saying, how can I help? How can I be of assistance to you? So look at ways within your organization that may be within your job description or may be outside of your job description, but maybe something that you are striving to do more of, and find out a way how you can demonstrate to your supervisors that you're ready for more. That you can demonstrate to your supervisors you can actually do work beyond your job description. How you can demonstrate to your supervisors that you're ready to take on more responsibility and more leadership. Okay, so we discussed 2 things to help you if you're feeling frustrated at the job. 2 things: communicate and demonstrate. Communicate to your supervisors your value and demonstrate to your supervisors your value. All right, I'm going to share with you a quote from the Harvard Business Review. I'm going to read it because I want to read it verbatim, word for word. And I'm going to go back in the comments and type it in. But according to the Harvard Business Review, the number 1 criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is the ability to communicate effectively. Let me read it again. The number 1 criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is the ability to communicate effectively. And I didn't make that up. That was said by the Harvard Business Review. So again, how are you communicating your value so that you are less frustrated because your value is being ignored or you're not being recognized for what you do? Some other tips that I wanted to share with you are working with people. How do you work with people around you? Again, we spend so much time at work. We want to get along. And that's not to say we need people to be our friends and to be chummy and to go to the bars. And although some work cultures promote that, that's not absolutely 100% necessary. But I'm going to talk to you right now about 3 people you need to have in the workplace. Again, if you have a pen, write it down. Go ahead and in the comments, let me know if the 2 suggestions that I gave are things that you can work on, things that you can work on tomorrow, right away, communicating and demonstrating. And get ready for these 3 things, these 3 people that you need to get at your job. The first one is a mentor. A mentor. A mentor is someone who is in a higher position than you, who have either had your position or is in a place that you aspire to be. How many of you, I'm going to look in the comments right now, how many of you have mentors or at least one mentor on the job? How many of you have at least one mentor on the job? Go ahead in the comment section and let me know. This is going to be interesting. Why? Because statistics have proven and studies have shown, evidence have proven over and over again that the people who have mentors are more successful. Why? Because the mentor's been there. They've been there. They've done that. They have real life value and examples and suggestions and things that you can follow to help you get from where you are to where they are. You know, it's a no-brainer when you think about it. If you have a mentor, if you have someone who's already been in your shoes, they can help you. So Kima says that she has a mentor. Good. Congratulations, Kima, for having that mentor, and keep that mentorship going. Anyone else? Anyone else who has a mentor in the workplace? I'm hoping it's not only Kima, because having mentors are just so important. Again, a mentor is someone who's already done what you aspire to do, or even if they haven't been in your exact same position, they are at a position in the company that you would want to achieve to be there at some point. Who else has a mentor? Go ahead and let me know. So mentors are crucial. A lot of times we are actually scared to have a mentor in that we're scared to approach people. How do I approach someone? Natasha says mentors are a must. They are a must. How do I approach someone and ask them to mentor me? You just do it. See, the thing about it is most people who are at the workplace, who've worked hard, who've climbed the ladders, the positions, and who are in position of leadership, they would be happy to mentor you if you just ask. Most people are really flattered. I will say this about a mentor. Mentors are usually very busy because they've already done all the work, the hard work, and kept climbing. They usually have lots and lots of responsibilities. So it's not like they're sitting down waiting for someone to come ask for mentorship. They're usually very busy. But usually they're never too busy to help someone else along because, as I said before, most successful people have mentors. And I can almost guarantee you that the mentors that you're thinking about asking to mentor you, that they had a mentor at some point of their lives. And so they see the value in mentoring others, in passing it down. So ask somebody. So action step, go back to your workplace. Identify someone who you can ask to be your mentor. Identify someone who you can ask to be your mentor. When you're looking for a mentor, you're not looking for someone who's already done it, someone who's in a position that you aspire to be, but you're also looking for someone who has good character. You want to have someone who has good integrity. You want to look for someone who has good work ethic. Now, usually the people that you select will be those people. Because usually in an organization, to get ahead, you usually have to exemplify good character, good integrity. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but for the most part. So write down, make a list of at least 3 people who you can ask and identify one person who you can ask this week to be your mentor. So you're not just going to someone and saying, hey, can you be my mentor? No. What you're going to do is talk about areas. First of all, you congratulate that person for whatever role they're playing in the organization. You congratulate them for their role. You let them know that you admire them greatly and that you would like to learn from them through a mentorship relationship. And then you two can sit and decide what that means. Does that mean you sit with them once a week for about 30 minutes and talk about your concerns? A mentorship session is not a gripe session. It's not for someone who has given you the opportunity to pick their brain and to learn and grow from them, for you to go and sit down in their office or meet them for coffee or for dinner, and for you to gripe about all the things that's happening at work. That's not what a mentor is. A mentorship situation should be designed that you actually have solid questions for your mentor. When you meet with your mentor, you're not trying to waste that person's time. You're trying to maximize their time to show that they are valuable to you. So you go with a list of questions. How can I do A? How can I do B? What was your experience with this? How did you overcome this challenge? How did you do this? So depending on the amount of time that you have set aside for your mentorship opportunity, you design questions that can fit in there. So you're not going with 20 questions if you only have 30 minutes, but 5 questions may do. Okay, so once somebody agrees to be your mentor, you value them. You value their time, you value their opinion, but you create a mentorship relationship where it's not just a one-off thing. You create a mentorship relationship where it's ongoing. If it's not once a week, it's once a month. If it's not once a month, it's at least every other month. I would suggest for a mentor that you meet with them at least once a month for at least 30 minutes to an hour. All right. So again, you're designing this relationship that you can gain more from it. Another thing with mentorship, how can you add value to your mentor? Kima said that she has a mentor. Kima, how do you add value to your mentor? What do you do? All right. So here's this person who is busy. Here's this person who has lots of responsibility, who's decided that they will mentor you. How do you add value to them? You can ask them. What are the things that I can help you with? Are there any areas in which you need help? How can I support you more in your role? How can I support you more professionally? Because this is a relationship. So it's not a one-sided thing. It's a relationship. So the same way that a mentor gives to you, you have to be prepared to give something in return for that mentorship. All right. So I said that I'm going to talk to you about 3 people who you need to get at work. So a mentor is one of them. Oh, Natasha says, be on time, take notes. Absolutely take notes. Absolutely. If you're sitting with a mentor and someone is pouring all their knowledge into you, you need to record it. You need to write it down. It demonstrates to them that you value it. But it's not only a demonstration to them that you value what they're saying, you're going to need it, right? You're going to go back to the notes that you have at some point. When you leave there, you should review it. When challenges come up, you should be able to go back to those same questions. I know I've been frustrated before where I've asked to help with the onboarding of individuals. I remember one time I was asked to help with the onboarding of someone, and I gave him all this great advice as to how he needed to start his program. He didn't show up with an iPad. He didn't take notes. He didn't have a legal pad. He didn't write anything down and nothing. And I spent so much time working on him. And then a few months down the road, his supervisor calls me and says, so-and-so needs some more help. Can you help him? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, he needs help with A, B, C, D, E, E, F, G. And I said to his supervisor, I did that already. But I'm not going to waste my time going over the same thing twice and 3 times with the same person. I'm not. And your mentor shouldn't either. So if you are so blessed and so lucky to have a mentor, make sure that you value them enough, that you are writing notes, that you are taking notes, that you are preparing for your meetings, that you're asking pointed questions that you can also learn from. So I'm done with mentoring. Mentorship for right now. If you have a question, go ahead and post it up in the comments. I am reviewing those as well. If you have a suggestion, if you have a mentor, if you have something that works for you in terms of mentorship, let me know. All right. So that's the first person that you need at your job. The second person that you're looking for at your job, a sponsor. A sponsor is someone who has some type of authority, is in some type of leadership or decision-making position, who can vouch for you. Who can vouch for you when opportunities are coming up, who can vouch for the work that you do, and who can open doors for you within the organization. So a mentor has already been there, done that. They're just adding value to you. A sponsor is someone who is actively in a leadership role who can speak for the work that you do. Do you have any sponsors at your job? Do you have any sponsors, anyone who can advocate for you, advocate on your behalf and speak for you? So a lot of times we talk about mentors, but not so much sponsors. See, a mentor may be someone who has the experience and the knowledge, but a mentor may not always have the power and position to get you where you need to go in the organization. And again, we spoke about some of the frustrations being people feel undervalued, people feeling that they want to do more for the organization. A sponsor will help you to grow and do more. A sponsor should be able to help you to get another position, a higher position. A sponsor should be able to get you to take on a new project. A sponsor should be able to vouch for your work and say that your work is A1. Your work is excellent. Your work is so good that I'm going to put my name out there and lend my credibility to you. All right. So how many people have a sponsor, an active sponsor who they know are in a leadership or decision-making position in their organization who can vouch for them? Go ahead and drop me a note in the comments so that I can know. All right. That's action step number 2. So you're looking for a mentor if you don't have one. You're looking for a sponsor if you don't have one. Now, sponsorship is a little bit more tricky. Because as a sponsor for someone, if I'm putting my name and my reputation on the line to vouch for someone, that person better be good. That person better be damn good. So if you aren't ready for someone to really put their neck on the line for you, you're not quite ready for sponsorship. It goes back to what we talked about when we first started this. Demonstrate. You have to be able to demonstrate your value. You have to be able to demonstrate that you can take on projects, that you can complete things excellently. You must be able to demonstrate that you can fully not only do your job, but you can fully do anything that's required of you to meet the company's goals and objectives. See, when you can do that, and then you have a sponsor, someone who can vouch for you, who can advocate for you on your behalf, then you are on your way to doing more, my friend. See, a sponsor is someone who is going to say, I know someone for that job. And let's see who's on the line. And that person is Natasha. I know someone who can do that job. And that person is JC. Is that JC? See, that's what a sponsor does. A sponsor say, you don't have to go outside to look for someone to fill this position. I know someone who can fill that position, and this person is right here. That's what a sponsor does. A sponsor says, we don't need to bring in anybody from the outside because Kima can do the job. But a sponsor can only know that if you've communicated, again, back to the communication, if you have communicated to them that you want to do more, that you want to take on more responsibilities, and that you have demonstrated to them, because communication is one thing, demonstration is the other thing, that you have demonstrated to them that indeed you can take on more responsibilities. Indeed, you can take on these top clients. Indeed, you can fill this position that just opened up. All right. So yes, mentor, sponsor. Kima says, let your mentor know that you value their constructive criticism. Absolutely. Mentors should know that they should give you constructive criticism. Absolutely. And then, as Kima said, let them know you value it. It puts them at ease to know that you not only value it, you want their constructive criticism. So that's a good point, Kima. Thanks for sharing that. So you got your mentor. You're looking for your sponsor, someone who can advocate on behalf of you. And then the third person you want is an ally. See, now for allies, you may have, and I say allies, so you may have one ally, you may have a group of allies. But an ally is someone who just has your back at the organization. An ally has your back. An ally, let me get this straight, an ally is not the best friend that you sit next to, that you're sending memes to all day, that you're tagging in the Facebook jokes, that you're going to lunch with every day. That's not what I mean by an ally. An ally is someone in the organization who, without a doubt, has your back. So when there's something that's going on that you need to know, your ally will pull you to the side and say, not gossiping, not spreading rumors, but your ally will pull you aside and let you know what's going on. Your ally may not even work in the same department with you. Your ally may not even be somebody that you see every single day, but your ally knows your value. Your ally knows that you want to move ahead in your company, and your ally has your back in doing that. So if something is going down in the organization, your ally is calling you up saying, let's do lunch and let's talk about this. In my, I'm giving you an example now. Your ally is saying to you, in my department, there's a position that's opening and I think you'd be perfect for it. They haven't posted it yet, but here's how you can get the jump. Of course, once that's ethical. Some places, they do the postings internally first so that people can get a jump on it internally. Your ally is the one who's doing that. Your ally is also doing some of the hard things. Your ally is pulling you to the side and saying, listen, you see that facial expression that you had in the meeting? It sucks. Your ally is pulling you to the side and said, you see that tone that you used with the supervisor? Watch yourself. It wasn't good. So your ally is not only someone who you can trust, but it's someone who has your back and who is looking at your blind spots. We all have blind spots. All of us do. Your ally is looking at your blind spots on the job. Your ally is being honest enough to tell you, you know what? You've been showing up sloppy looking to work. Your ally is telling you, you've been kind of frumpy for the past few weeks. What's up with that? You used to come to work all dressed up, and now, you're kind of looking like you don't care. That's what your ally is doing. Your ally is looking for ways to position you better in the company. Your ally keeps their ear to the ground for you, but your ally looks at your blind spots and says, listen, how you spoke to that customer was wrong. Your ally is saying, listen, how you handle that situation is wrong. And I said that you don't even need just one ally. You can have more than one ally. As a matter of fact, having a group of allies or more allies, that's good. Again, this isn't for gossiping and sharing information and rumors. Your allies are to help you. They're people at the organization who has your back, right? So again, let's talk about some of the things and recap. Go ahead and let me know if any of these things are resonating with you. Let me know some of the things that you've done to help with your frustration at work. A message says, just last year I went through this particular scenario whereby I was recommended for my current position by a sponsor. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. That's what sponsors do. You communicate and you demonstrate to your sponsors that you're ready for new opportunities. You demonstrate by taking on more work, and those sponsors are able to advocate on your behalf. And that's how you get over some of the frustrations that you're having at work. Now, if you have other frustrations at work that you'd like me to address, go ahead and let me know what some of them are in the comment section. But let's just recap. All right, I'm recapping now. Some of the things that I told you, my clients say that they are experiencing at work and that are leaving them really, really frustrated at work is one, they're thinking that nobody sees their value. Number two, they want to get ahead more. And how you do that? You communicate and you demonstrate. You communicate to the supervisors that you want to get ahead more by showing them the goals that you've been able to reach, showing them the value that you've added to the organization. And then you demonstrate by doing even more. You demonstrate by taking on responsibilities that may be beyond your job description, but shows that you're ready for the next step. So you communicate, you demonstrate. All right. And then the three people you're looking for at your job, you are looking for a mentor, someone who's already been there, done that, or someone who has a position that you aspire to get to. You're looking for a sponsor, someone in a leadership position who can advocate on behalf of you. And then you're also looking for allies, people who have your back, people who have the ear on the ground to hear what's going on, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, and people who have your back to get you through work. All right. Jace, am I saying it correctly? JC says, I'm so happy in my current position. See, great example. And thank you for sharing that. See, the frustrations go away when you have the right people who are in your corner. The frustrations fall to the side when you are doing the right things. But here's the thing. You can't wait for someone else to do it. You can't sit back and wait for someone else to recognize your value. You'll be waiting forever. You can't sit back and wait for someone else to come to you and say, here, there's this job. Do you want this job? And give it to you. It doesn't work like that. You are your best advocate and you have to advocate on your behalf. One of the people that took my leadership course a while back that I worked with, he was so frustrated. He was frustrated. He has a degree. He's not getting ahead in the workplace. And I asked him, what did you do to demonstrate to your supervisors that you wanted to get ahead? And he said to me, they should know. So what you mean they should know? He said, they should know I do all this work. I come in early. I stay in late. They should know. I said, well, obviously they don't. What are you going to do about it? So he started communicating and demonstrating. I said, does your supervisor know that you want another position, that you're ready for a higher position? He said, no. I said, how is your supervisor going to know that you're ready to move up if you don't communicate that? You got to communicate it. I asked him, how many times do you meet with your supervisor? He's like, once a week. I said, are you crazy? Once a week? Many people wish they had that kind of access to their supervisor. Once a week, you have the opportunity to tell them, you check it off your list. I've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I'm ready to move ahead. Okay, so we started to work on ways that he would be more confident in communicating those things to his supervisor. So he started doing that. He started demonstrating by taking on more responsibility. What better way of communicating than applying for a job? Apply for a job, even if it's a job where on your job, where you don't meet 100% of the qualifications, apply. Why? It sends a message to your supervisor, to the hiring manager, to everyone who is on that hiring team. Many organizations have a team or a committee, of a selection committee. It sends that message to them that you are serious. You are ready to move forward. How? Because you applied for the position. I've worked with too many people who've said to me, I'm not going to get the job. They already know who they want. It's rigged. So what? So what? Again, what is your reason? Your reason is to communicate you're ready to move forward. And by applying for that job, that communicates to them. So with my client, he applied for the job. He communicated that he was ready to his supervisor. He applied for the job, and guess what? He didn't get it. And so he was real bummed out. Like, oh my God, I didn't get this. See, I told you so. I told you that I'm not going to get it. And I'm like, you just applied for one job. You know how many jobs people apply for before they get it? You just started communicating this. You can't get despondent. You have to keep going. You have to keep showing and communicating. So there was a position that opened up again. He told me he's going to apply. I was really excited. This time he said he's going to do it. So he went ahead and he applied for the position. It was a stretch. Before he applied, though, he said, I don't want to apply because one of the objections for him applying, although he knew he was going to go ahead with the application, was that there was someone else in line and he didn't want to feel that he was competing with the person. So we discussed, based on the work culture, what he can do. Again, you want to have a good work culture because you're working with these people all day. I said, well, why don't you just tell this person that you applied? So it's not a secret. You let them know, hey, you know what? I saw this position and you may be in the runnings for it because it's right up your alley. But hey, I decided to, try my luck. He did. He shared it with the person and their communication and their relationship grew because the person was able to say, oh, you really did? And they had a conversation about where they saw the position going, about goals for the position, about how they can use that position to add more value to the organization. And at the end of the day, he wished the person good luck. Good luck with the application. You have more experience in this area than me. But again, what was his goal? To demonstrate and to communicate. So he's showing his supervisors, hey, I didn't get this first job, but I'm going to apply for a second job. He is communicating to them he is ready. He's demonstrating by taking the time to go through the application process. Guess what? He didn't get the job. But guess what? It's okay. Because why? He did what he set out to do. He communicated and he demonstrated that out of the blue, guess what happened? Out of the blue, the powers that be came to him and said, we have a job for you. They created a position based on his strengths. How many of you have ever had a position totally created for you based on the fact that you have demonstrated the value you bring to the organization and you have communicated to your supervisors that you want to do more? I've never had that happen to me. I've started my own businesses and created my own positions, but to have someone who was months before not even being acknowledged by the powers to be. Fast forward a couple of months, fast forward a couple of supposed losses where he applied for jobs that he didn't get. It was okay. Fast forward to when you continue to work hard to demonstrate what you're doing, to get a mentor, to get a sponsor, to communicate and demonstrate to the powers that be that you are ready, that you are frustrated where you are, you want to do more, and you want to show your value. And then they say to you, here's a position I created just for you. Here are some of the goals and objectives, but guess what? You get to shape this position. What about that? How would that be to you? See, you have the power. You have the power. So I'm going to wrap up right now by saying, stop being frustrated. Stop being frustrated at work. If you feel that you're being undervalued, overlooked, If you feel that you need to do more, it's up to you, my friend. It's up to you and only you to take the steps that are necessary to get ahead. And tonight I outlined some steps, and go ahead, come back to this, share this this video if it helps you, if it can help someone else that you know of, tag someone in it, and go ahead and continue to comment. But let me let you know, there are 3 things I want you to work on this week. 5 things actually. Communicate to the people who are your supervisors that you want to do more. Communicate to them your value, demonstrate your value, and work on getting those 3 people in the workplace. Work on getting your mentors, work on getting your sponsors, and work on getting your allies. And then come back and let me know how that works for you. I'll be discussing these types of topics in my Level Up course, where we have more time to get one-on-one questions and to go over some specific scenarios, because some of you do have specific scenarios that need specific types of actions, right? So I'm going to put the link to my Level Up course in there. Visit me on my website and learn more about how you can have the tools to empower you to reach your highest potential. This is Nyamka. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to help you live empowered by providing you with tips and tools to live an empowered life. Thanks for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your evening.